Hey everyone, thanks so much for joining me. I'm here with Kristen. Isn't she lovely? Thank you so much.
Hi.
Kristen, thank you so much for being here, and thanks to everyone who joined us today.
Mhm.
Kristen, I ran into her channel here on YouTube, guys. And if you're enjoying this series, let me just, before I get into that, if you're enjoying this series, make sure that you check the playlist because I have everyone on the playlist, and we've learned so much from everyone as well. And we're going to learn a lot about Kristen, whom I ran into when I was watching another channel, and they were talking about her items and her jewelry and all kinds of things that she has now turned into her little enterprise right here on
Mhm.
YouTube. So I'm going to turn it over to her so she can give us a quick little synopsis of
Mhm.
how she came to be on YouTube, how long, and so forth, and then we'll delve into more details. And again, I thank you
Great.
for being here.
Thank you. Well, thank you for having me. I have to say I've been reselling for about 5 years, but I've only been on YouTube about a year and a half. Basically, when COVID started, I wanted to find like another outlet to, do my reselling. So I found YouTube. But I have an eBay, I have a Poshmark. I started out on Poshmark originally 5 years ago, and I expanded to eBay, and now I'm on YouTube. And I also have 2 antique booths now. And I am actually a full-time business. I have an actual business entity. I'm a tax ID number. I'm registered with New York State, the whole nine.
That's incredible, Kristen. I just
Mhm.
can't believe your story is you've only been here a year and a half on
Yep.
YouTube
Yep.
producing content, and you're growing. Your channel is growing daily, and the views are incredible. I check on there every time I want to buy something. It's already been sold, so that's wonderful to know
Yeah.
that it's working so well for you. But when did you start even selling on eBay, or what came first? The thrifting? Were you a thrifter that just became obsessed with all the beautiful things you found and said, I have to start sharing these?
Yeah, pretty much. I didn't really know about thrift stores until maybe about 8 years ago, I would say. And I was shopping for myself, and I came across in the shoe department in my local Goodwill. Well, not my local. When I used to live at home, my local Goodwill,
Mhm.
at my parents' house, and I was going through the shoes, and I saw a pair of Kate Spade loafers, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, I can't afford Kate Spade in the store. So I grabbed them and I'm looking at them, and they were a size 6 and I'm a size 8. So I'm like, well, that's not going to work. And I'm like, these are so beautiful. Like, there has to be something I can do with them. Like, Goodwill, usually it goes off to the bins and then to the landfills, sometimes straight to the landfill. So I'm like, I can't risk these beautiful shoes going into a landfill. So I did a little bit of research. I went on YouTube. I looked up all kinds of videos on, selling, what I can do. And then I found Poshmark. So that's how I started on Poshmark. And then I started doing clothes and shoes on there. And then it spiraled into eBay, and then, now YouTube. But yeah, it all started with a pair of Kate Spade loafers.
That's incredible. And that's kind of the way it starts because we do see so many beautiful things,
Mhm.
and you're just like, I cannot leave these. And then you gift
Yeah.
them to your family, and they get to a point where they don't really share your enthusiasm, I think, sometimes.
Yeah.
And right. And you're
Yeah.
just like, can you believe I found this? So you have to find an outlet.
Yep.
Wow. And so in you kind of geared towards fashion. Do
Mhm.
you, your antique booth, are you going to be doing mostly fashion, or have you delved into, vanity items and lamps and beautiful things for the home, that kind of thing?
Yep. When I started on eBay, I dabbled a little bit in hard goods, like vintage hard goods and stuff like that. I don't mind doing hard goods on eBay. It's just I get very nervous with the shipping fragiles. So I kind of stopped listing the fragiles on eBay, and I just put them in my antique booth now. But some things don't always sell better in like a brick and mortar type setting. They sell better like where the whole world can have access to them, like on eBay. So
Mhm.
depends on the item, but I do still sell a little bit of hard goods, like not lamps. Lamps go in my antique booth, but smaller items, things that are easier to ship hard good wise on eBay, and everything else goes in the booth.
I want to ask you a little bit about that interim in time, but I'm going to say hello to a couple of people in the chat real quick before they feel ignored. We don't want to do that. Hi, Doug, Linda, Janice, and Lizzie. Lizzie and Levy, a fan of yours. And Verna, I know they've spoken highly of you. And Ruthie's Corner, how are you? Thank you guys so much for joining me. Again, if you're enjoying the content, be sure and hit the thumbs up. Be sure and subscribe if you haven't done so. We're going to drop Kristen's links, of course, and have you go over to her channel, and please support her over there as well. She has an incredible story, because all of this, you'd say maybe from the time you walked in and found those Kate Spade and said, I can't leave them here, and what you're generating here on YouTube has been maybe 2 years?
Probably about 5, give or take.
About 5.
A little under 5.
Who first took you to a thrift store? Was it just something you decided you were looking for something special? Not everybody.
I think I had gotten, it's kind of a funny story. I think I had gotten something for my birthday, like probably 10 years ago. And it had the Goodwill sticker still on the back. Like the person forgot to take the sticker off. And I was like, what's Goodwill? So I kind of like looked into it a little bit, and that's how I figured out that there was like a Goodwill thrift store and other thrift stores. Because where I lived with my parents, they're right near a mall. They're like 10 minutes, 12 minutes from a mall. So I was like a mall kid, like we always went shopping in the malls, and I didn't really know of thrift stores, but look at me now. I love it. I love them all.
Exactly. And once you go thrifting, you're like, I still go occasionally to the department stores, of course, to buy gifts. And when I need a certain pair of jeans or something, but then you're like, but I could find this at Goodwill for $10 and not $100, right?
Yep, exactly.
But I'm impressed with how you actually took it to where it was an educational thing for you too. You didn't just say, I'm going to throw this up on eBay. You're now telling me that you know what will sell on eBay, what translates better on eBay than brick and mortar. And look at the inventory behind her, guys. I mean,
oh yeah, I'm in my inventory room today because this is where I film my videos on the desk in front of me, so the lighting is really nice. So yeah, this is all my inventory behind me that's listed on eBay and Poshmark. Yeah.
So how did you learn what will translate to eBay, what won't, there's so many things that don't translate to eBay. There's so many things that do. Like you said, hard goods sometimes are better for the whole world to see. What did you mean by that? Other than all the eyes, we know it has millions of users.
Yeah, it's more eyes on your item to be on eBay, because if you do international shipping, you have the whole world that can look at your item. Whereas Poshmark is only US, and a brick and mortar store is only local. It's like foot traffic. So I wanted to be able to appeal to every aspect, and trial and error, really. I did a lot of research also. That's really important in reselling. You have to always be learning. Things are always changing. You have to look up things on YouTube, Google, follow other resellers that have 100,000 subscribers, take advice from people, but really just trial and error. Poshmark is very trendy, trendy items. eBay, you can pretty much sell anything. And, same with the antique booths, you can really sell anything. Bigger items, breakable items, it's a lot easier to just find things in the thrift stores and estate sales, throw a tag on it, put it in my spreadsheet, and, put it in the booth, and I'm done with it. No photographing, no listing. It's great.
Did you hear that, guys? She does spreadsheets as well.
Yes.
So that's, again, just, I admire all of that organization, all of that business-like savvy, and back to the all eyes of the world. I suppose you do you live in a big city?
It's a pretty big city. It's not New York City, but it's my town has a town in a city setting, and I live in the city setting. So it's pretty big, yeah.
So do you think you might dictate styles of, let's say, jewelry or clothes that you might put up on Posh to not putting up in your booth because of that local setting and their aesthetic and what they find maybe outlandish or trendy? Or
I do a little bit because in my town and the one over, there's 3 antique malls, like all within about 5 miles. So
Yeah.
I tend to think it's a lot of vintage and a lot of vintage inspired items. And I'm in the historic district of my city. So it's a lot of like older buildings and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
if I put clothing in my booth and stuff, it's definitely very vintage. The shoes, stuff like that, vintage gloves, everything. But Poshmark and eBay, I put it all, modern, vintage, you name it, it's there.
Yeah. Yeah, I was impressed with your last pop-ups when you have those beautiful Whiting and Davis
Mhm.
bags, and she just picks up all kinds of, interesting out of the box type of things, and that maybe that comes from your little area and your antique kind of
Yeah.
mindset there where you are. How long have you had the booth?
The first booth I actually had since the place opened, which is I think going on 3 years. And then this new booth I opened recently, July 1st, in the same mall. In the same mall, I was on a waiting list, and one popped open, and I moved right in.
And all of this, guys, she's actually planning a wedding. Tell us about
Yeah.
that.
So I was supposed to have been, well, I was married, but I was supposed to have the whole wedding and everything was supposed
Mhm.
to be May 10th of 20, 5/10/20. But as we all know, something major in the world happened and it was canceled um, about a month before it was supposed to happen. So I basically had everything set, except my dress didn't get altered yet. It wasn't, it was like everything was on hold, everything stopped. So last night I just finally went and got my dress altered. Well, I sent in for it to get altered. I got fitted and it was measured for hemming and all that.
Wow. That's so nice. So
Yeah.
exciting.
The venue is set already. It's been set for 2 months. It's going to be at the end of August. So, yay.
Well, I mean, again, let's go back to a little bit of education. I think I heard you say in the chat from one of our other interviewers that you did insurance before you decided
Yeah.
to say, I'm working for myself. I'm never going to clock in again. What did you do and what made you go for full circle?
Yeah, I did health insurance for 8 years, and then after that, I was a medical records person in a cancer doctor's office for 6 years, and that's the job I left to do this full time. It was just, it was really not. It was really the women in the office. It was just not working, and the management was just not working. Nothing. I didn't see myself furthering myself anywhere, getting anywhere further than where I was. And, I wasn't getting raises, but but the work was just still coming in on me. And I just had to figure out something that was going to work. And I was doing reselling part time. And I'm
Right.
like, why can't I just quit my job? And then if I focus reselling full time, I could make the money I'm making working and probably more. So I did it. I left my
Yeah.
full job
Inspiring.
October 1st of 2020, and I'm actually making more money than I was working a full-time day job. And
Absolutely.
I love to shop to, share it with everybody else. Mhm.
Yeah, Ruthie's Corner says you're a role model for many, 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 many people. And I have to agree
Thank you.
because a lot of people don't have the fortitude to do that. They're always scared. I'm scared to
Oh,
leave my
I was scared.
and I have a few more years before I can retire with a pretty decent pension. But
Mhm.
even, other people that just have, a mall job or
Mhm.
they're scared to make that plunge. How did
Yeah.
you I have a feeling though that your business sense comes from all of your experience from
Yeah, reselling made me happy. The office job didn't. And I had my husband's support, and he, said if it took a while to take off, we would figure out the bill situation. If it didn't work out, I could always get another job somewhere or I
yeah,
could get a part-time job somewhere. There would always be a way to figure it out and to make it work. You just have to trust yourself and make that leap and work hard. Work hard, don't give up, and just keep going. That's really it, and have faith in yourself.
Yeah, that's incredible. What about your family background? Are they entrepreneurs and self-employed type of people as well?
Nope.
No, so you took the opposite
Yep.
direction. That's awesome. So you must
Mhm.
have gotten, like some kind of inspiration, I guess maybe from watching other people doing it as well and talking
Yeah.
about how well they were doing.
Yep. I've always watched YouTube and stuff like that. And when I found the reselling world, it just was so cool to me. Like it was like you can shop and sell things, and basically you get paid to shop, and you can save the earth while you're doing it because you're saving things from landfills. You're helping people afford things that they couldn't really afford new. I've gotten so many emails from subscribers saying like, thank you for this Michael Kors purse. I couldn't afford that
Right.
before, and now because of you, I can. And that to me is just awesome.
It is. It is. That's kind of a feedback loop that you get, that I used to get even from eBay when I first started on eBay. And you would get those little emails thanking you for, even if it's
Yeah.
not a Michael Kors, like you said, but maybe a trinket that they had that their father had gifted them when they turned 8 or something, and they found that.
Mhm.
You get that.
Yeah.
Such
Yep.
satisfaction.
Yep. Yep.
So
Exactly.
do you think your business savvy helped you as well? Because not everyone, I'm going to tell you, first of all, I don't keep a spreadsheet. I kind of just rely on, my PayPal and this and my, loss and profit thing. But I admire that. Do you think it was part of your business sense?
Yeah, a little bit. In college I took, liberal arts classes, the basics to cover like everything. So
Mhm.
I knew, but I also wanted to be like organized, and if I was going to be on all different platforms with maybe different things on different platforms, I wanted to keep track of it. And it just gives me a peace of mind. And it's hard to keep track of everything, but I think in the long run,
In a way.
yeah, and then I can kind of see like my numbers, like what I'm making in a month versus what I'm spending and stuff. I don't keep track of like how much I spend. I just keep all my receipts in like a file folder, and then at the end of the year when I do taxes, I count that all up. But I definitely keep track of all my inventory, and every piece that's listed or goes in my booth. But
That's amazing.
it's very important.
Absolutely. Let's say hi to a couple more people. It looks like Yvonne at Thrifty Rich popped in. She's been on my show when I did the reseller version of it a couple of years ago, and she's got.
Yep, she's great. Mm-hmm.
I love watching her, and I like the
Yep.
way Yvonne also transitions from fashion to glass to
Mhm.
jewelry. And do you feel
Yep.
that you're doing some of that as well?
Yeah, I actually love doing a little bit of everything. It keeps things fresh. It keeps things exciting. So I like that. I like watching other resellers go like different aspects of different things. It's really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. You're also doing, you're juggling like 3 or 4 balls in the air here, maybe more,
Yeah.
because you're doing the crystals as well. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Is that like a multi-level thing that you're a part of?
Oh
And
yeah, the Swarovski. Yeah, it's multi. I really don't do much of it because it's a little expensive. It's Swarovski, but it's touchstone crystals, so it's the more affordable line that's not available in stores, that's catalog only, and it ships directly to your house. I do dabble a little bit with it. I think the jewelry is phenomenal. I mean, I'm a really big Swarovski fan, but it's kind of like on the back burner, but it's still there, and I've really nice collection for myself of it. That's for sure.
well, I haven't checked it out yet, but I will. And I
Mhm.
really, I always kind of am taken aback by people who are very quick to criticize MLMs, because people make
Mhm.
really good living
Oh yeah.
MLMs. I know you work your way through the tiers, but I feel like you have to have the right personality,
Oh
the
yeah.
right drive, or
Mhm.
you'll sit back and say, I quit because this and the other. So
Yep.
I can see you succeeding in that as well. Tell
Thank
us a
you.
little bit about your subscription boxes. That's another
Mhm.
fun thing that This is what I'm saying, guys. She just took it by the tail and just
Yep.
everything is going.
Well, you have to remember the average millionaire has 7 streams of income. So if you want to get to that level, you got to have 7 or more different,
Absolutely.
streams coming in. I mean, not that I'm trying, but
Well, you got dreams, you've got goals, and you're not just talking about them. So be proud of it. Yeah,
yeah.
be proud of it.
So the jewelry subscription is on Patreon, and basically I offer a monthly service of hand-picked items of jewelry from me, 6 pieces a month, and it's $30 US, only because I cover the shipping. And so 6 pieces of hand-picked jewelry. It's usually all branded, and if it's not branded, it's going to be worth it in some other way. So really, you're paying $5 a piece to have it delivered to your door every month. You can keep it, you can resell it, and the value is definitely worth more than $5 a piece. And because it's on Patreon, you can cancel anytime, you can start again anytime, so you're not locked in, for a year, and there's no pressure. Like, I'm not going to get offended if, people quit or whatever, because I've had people cancel and then they rejoin, and it's no big deal. It's really cool.
Yeah, it sounds like a nice enterprise. A lot of people, they start things like that, but it sounds like you are constantly feeding your motivation. Who do you listen to? Who do you? I mean, obviously, you quoted something about a millionaire and multi streams. Is it Gary Vee or what? Who are you?
I forget where I heard that, but my parents were always super hard workers. They still are. My dad, when we were kids, me and my sister were kids, he worked nights. My mom worked 2 jobs. Everything was you worked for what you got.
Right.
I'm always looking for ways to make money, ways to, also give back, because everything I'm doing doesn't only benefit me, it benefits other people. So I'm constantly, the wheels are constantly turning in my head.
That's wonderful. That's a great philosophy, because unfortunately I hear a lot of, and maybe I don't want to blanket a generation, but you're barely 30, right? You're in your 20s?
I wish. Last month was my birthday. I turned 37.
Oh my gosh, does she not look 25?
I feel 25, if that matters. If
You
that
don't look a
counts.
day over 25. But,
Thank you.
there's that millennium generation, maybe even the other, what's the other one? What do they call it?
Gen Z.
Yeah, those. Some of them have this, why do we have to work? Why is this world where we have to work to even have food on the table? And you're thinking beyond that, you're thinking of food on other people's tables. And I think that's just really, really impressive.
Yeah.
I love that about you. And it shows in what you're doing and when do you rest?
Yeah.
Who's helping you?
Usually like after 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, but your husband
Yep, my husband is up 6:30 or 6. I'm usually up at 7, and I don't stop until I go to bed, maybe 10 o'clock. But I love it. I enjoy it. I don't do it because I'm so busy and I have to catch up. I love doing it. Like, I love working. To me, it's not work because I love it. So
right.
or how many hours it is.
Yeah, that's exactly what we all strive to do what we love.
Yep. Exactly.
And the money comes later, they say, when you have that passion in there.
Yep.
Yeah. What are your sources for learning about, because I think I heard you say once in a video that you'd only been doing jewelry per se about a year or so, but yet you have yourself your testers, and you know what's sterling and what's not. But how do you learn about other things? Let's say the vintage things, or the new trendy styles. How do you stay abreast of that?
I call it research and development. So
Okay.
anything you can get your hands on, Google. I have a ton of like the older reference books. Like, I have Fenton books, depression glass books. I have Bakelite books, vintage jewelry books, like all that. Just read them, look through them, get familiar. I have ceramics books, all that stuff. Google, obviously. YouTube is it's like Google, but in video. So you can like learn through videos and stuff. Just anything you can get your hands on, do it, learn it. It's going to be worth it. And that's what I do, just wherever I can. I love learning. I don't think I felt this way when I was a kid in school.
Mhm.
I think once I hit 30, I'm like, I can't get enough. Like, I just want to learn everything.
I think we all kind of come to a little pivot in life where we think, what do I need to know about this or anything, whether it's in your jewelry business or, in my case, in education, and I just want to know everything that I may have forgotten or didn't know
Mhm.
about this or the other to be of better service to my students and to you,
Yep.
to your customers, of course.
Yep.
What's your favorite kind of jewelry for yourself? What do you like to wear?
I would have to say I enjoy bracelets. If you were to look at my jewelry collection, it's mostly bracelets. I like changing them up, and I always like to have short sleeves or 3/4 sleeves, so bracelets are always showing. And
Mhm.
go from summer to winter, you can wear any type, it doesn't matter. So I would say bracelets.
And I heard you had a Bakelite collection. Can you tell us about that? How
Yeah.
that started?
Yeah, I have a Bakelite Bangle collection. I think Bakelite in general is really cool. I have a couple brooches, but for some reason because I like bracelets the best, so bangles are cool. I have carved ones. I have all different color ones, and I actually was in a live Facebook auction not too long ago, and I got a lot of 5 of them. So I'm so excited for those.
Oh my goodness.
To-
You got
yeah.
lucky.
So it's growing fast, that's for sure.
I also saw in your latest sale today, I think you had those clips, those deco clips, or
Yeah.
those are
Yep.
amazing.
The Bakelite Art Deco dress clips, yeah, or shoe clips, whatever you want to use them on. And I think I got them, what I say, like 10 or $15. Nobody else wanted them. I'm like, they're so cool. Like, even like just to have in your collection, it's a piece of,
Mhm.
like, it's very cool.
And they would look cool on some collar ends, maybe a
Mhm.
really, boyfriend type of shirt, white
Yeah.
shirt, putting them on there. What are
Yeah.
you wearing right now? Everybody's talking about your pretty choker.
Oh, so this actually is in my video that is uploaded today. It was hand done. Oh, the reflection is kind of,
Wow, it's beautiful.
but it was handmade by a friend of mine, a friend of mine's sister who has a shop in Cold Spring, New York, which is
Mhm.
about 20 minutes from me. So I did a video on her jewelry, some of her jewelry, and this is one piece that I decided to keep because it is beautiful, and I love collar style necklaces and bug jewelry. So it just like hits all the marks for me.
It's beautiful.
Mhm.
Will you be consigning some of her stuff, do you think, in the
Yeah, I think so. If the sales go well, I'll be helping her this as a little outlet for her to kind of branch out from her brick and mortar. You can do that.
Yeah, that'll be fun. What do
Hmm.
you like better, auctions or the pop-ups?
Um, I like both. I mean, I like auctions. I like the scheduled ones, but sometimes things don't always work out with my timing and what's going on in my day or whatever. So usually I like the scheduled ones better, but the pop-ups I usually like to give maybe like 3 hours or so in advance notice. You're talking about my own or like
Yes, yours.
yeah, I usually like to give a little bit of notice at least so then I can let people know I'm going live. And, I know a lot of people are going back to the office now. They're not working from home anymore. So I try to schedule things later in the day, stuff like that. So I try to other people in their schedules and make it work for them, really, because where would I be without you guys?
Yeah, and tell us about the handbag sales because you're getting those you go to estate sales. What are your favorite resources and how did you start with those?
um, most of mine come from Savers,
Mm.
which is out in Connecticut. It's about an hour from me, so I really only go like once or twice, well, probably twice a month, I would say. But they have really good purses. Their selection is huge.
Yeah.
I do find a couple in my local Goodwill, which is about 2 miles from my apartment. And other than that, I get them online because there's really not much around me. So I'll get them ThreadUp if I'm lucky enough to catch the name brand handbag rescue box. That one's my favorite. I caught it today. It was around noon and I got one. So whenever that comes in, I'll be doing a video. And
so give us a tip. How do we do that? Like I'm a newbie with that catching and putting it in your cart at a certain time. Don't give us a secret, but what is it that you do?
You have to just keep checking the website. There really is no secret. They don't let you know when they're going to release things. I've had people email them to try to ask, and they don't say anything. So you really just got to keep refreshing, going to that rescues section, and hoping that you're going to catch it. After a while, you can kind of guess like around when it happens. Usually it's like the morning to the early afternoon hours. But then I've had subscribers tell me they, caught something at 4 a.m. because they were watching TV and they decided to just check, the website, and boom, there they were. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So
yeah, that's crazy.
Secret.
I need to try my hand at it. Even with Goodwill, I know there's the Goodwill blue box. Do you get the blue boxes too?
I do sometimes. Yeah, I haven't in a while, but yeah, I do. And they do have a purse one, but it's $20 and you only get one. So I like to get a little more than that.
Right. And so, but you also do do you go to goodwill.com and get your boxes over there? Sometimes?
Yeah, I do Goodwill Blue Box, and then shopgoodwill.com, you can get purses too. Sometimes they do purse lots, and other times they'll just do a single purse, but you can get a good designer name for $10, $15, $20 on a purse. So it's still.
Guys, if you have any questions for Kristen, go ahead and put them in the chat in caps so we can see. And let me say hi to a couple more people. Looks like Anita popped in. Hi. Being here, Anita, and I'm trying to get Anita booked. So hopefully maybe in 2 weeks, I will take a week off. Hopefully next week I won't be doing this series, but I want to come back to it because I need to go visit my grandkids in Chicago.
Oh.
Hopefully. So, but I'm looking forward to meeting so many more people as well. But doesn't Kristen have a fabulous story, guys? I just can't get over it. I really can't because, I mean, you have absolutely no help. Only your husband, right? So,
he doesn't even really help. I mean, he works all day and then he comes home, we have dinner, and usually at night, I do my shipping and he'll help with shipping, especially after my purse sales, because it's like a lot more items, bigger items. So he'll definitely help ship. But other than that, no, I'm a one-woman show.
Yeah. Have you tried, I know we had Dawn here the other day and she was talking about, she'd been approached to launch a new venue called Galaxy. And many people go directly. There's ways to sell on Instagram as well. There's a whole, you can do a whole account for selling. Have you ventured into that?
No, I haven't. And when she was talking about Galaxy, it sounds very interesting. So I would like to definitely, keep updated hearing about that from her because that sounds really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's going to be fun for all of us to follow, our favorite resellers. And then for those of us who resell to have another place to put up those items. And so many, even Etsy and eBay already do some video. You can tag on the video, click on the video. But it's so much easier to have someone send the invoice immediately. You don't have to worry about people that don't pay you. And on that vein, I imagine that by now, with everyone knowing the quality of your product, that you don't have too much of a problem with people following through and paying on a timely basis so that you can, you have a consistent, I would think a schedule, like you like to get paid by this time, so you can go ship at this time and so forth. Tell us about that.
In the beginning, it was hard because I didn't really have any rules. I didn't really know, it's all trial and error. So after a while, like I get if people are doing things, they're busy. But I do set, I say if once you receive the invoice, that's when the payment's required. But I obviously, if I don't hear from somebody, I'll email them. Hey, did you get my invoice? Just letting you know, like I sent the invoice out, and I do send a reminder invoice also after, you know, a couple hours or the next day usually. But I don't normally have any actual non-payers. Some people will say that they changed their mind, and that's fine, no problem. I would much rather that than someone just disappearing. But it's been pretty okay. And I definitely have to say it in my videos often,
Yeah.
in case people miss it, or if they're fast forwarding, I have to make sure like you just repeat yourself and just have rules. You know, everyone has to understand that this, you know, all us resellers, this is our paycheck. You know, this is how we get paid. This is how we pay our bills. So like we have to try to be respectful of everyone, of each other.
Yeah, and that's what I admire about people who can do that, who can say it out loud, because you know this venue is different from others because a lot of people start with content creation. They start by creating a community first, and then they kind of have a following and a loyalty, and um, where they like you. People like you because you've started. They think they know you. They like
Yeah.
your personality, and they do know you because you are being your, you know, you're there every day. You told us about your wedding and all of that stuff. But where do you kind of uh, have you ever had issues where people will think, well, you know, giving you hate about it, or thinking, well, you're a friend of mine because I watch you, so you know if I don't pay you, or you should give me a better discount or something like that. I feel like I'm glad that you did it pretty much from the beginning. This is my sales platform, correct?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I mean, I still have people that will ask me for a better deal from my prices in my videos, and it depends on the deal, like what they're asking for. But usually, I mean, I can't really because the prices I give my subscribers is discounted from what I would list it for on Poshmark or eBay because I do that as a thank you to them for their support, and I offer it lower because I don't have to pay eBay and Poshmark fees. I don't have to pay. I don't have to spend time listing and photographing. So usually my prices stick, and people are respectful of that. So
Mhm.
I really don't have any issues. I am very
That's good.
my subscribers.
That's good because I've been in a lot of online auctions, live auctions here on YouTube, where people will literally say, "Will you take this?" or you know, bartering and haggling for a price when we already know they're starting something at the lowest price they possibly
Yep.
can.
Mm-hmm.
Just, you know, it's like almost no sense of decorum as to how you're supposed to conduct yourself when
Yeah.
someone is giving you a deal already, and
Yep.
you know, like you said, because you don't have to pay the
Yeah.
prices
You just have to nicely reiterate, you know, how you do your business and why your prices are your prices.
Mhm.
Well, it's all in how you say it, really.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Mhm.
keep it consistent because a lot of times people will say, "Well, you did it last time for them," or "You're paying favorites," and I know, you know, we can get accused of things like that. So it's good when you can have a clear black and white line.
Mhm.
This is my selling platform. But
Yep.
are you going to take us on your booths? You've taken us to your booths and everything too, as well, right?
Yep, I did one video of me setting up the new booth. It now, I mean, it's only been what, 2 weeks. It looks completely different already. It's just more full, and I keep filling it. I plan on putting in more shelving units, you know, filling it more. So I definitely can do an updated booth video, and I could even include my first booth because it's, you know, in the same mall, and I can show you guys that one too. So that will definitely be coming soon.
Yeah. And you have to put time into the booth too. You have to go, what, once a week to straighten it out, add new
Yep.
things?
Yep. I go usually once every weekend to refill it because of stuff I pick up throughout the week. And I change things around. I, you know, clean up a little bit, whatever. But since opening the new booth, I've been there, geez, like every 2 days because I'm bringing stuff from my parents' house that I have things stored at, you know, my house,
Mhm.
in everything. and just unloading it slowly. And when things sell, hurry up and fill the spot. I'm bringing in more shelving units. So it's that one. I've been there quite a few times in the past 2 weeks. But
thanks to the opening up, post-COVID issues right now, people are really having a lot more traffic in their booth.
yeah.
And what made you open a second booth? Was the other one not small enough? Or are you doing different things in one booth?
I really love it. Honestly, I love it so much. It's working out. The women that run it are amazing. They're so nice, and I really love all of them. We all get along really well, and like I said, it's working for me. And when I put my name on the list because it's a pretty new place. Like I said, we've only been open 3 years, so I put my name on the list for another booth because I wanted to expand. And I just did it. I've been to the other antique malls in the area, and I just don't get the same vibe. It's and I like my antique mall. But yeah, I really love it. And my first booth just has really everything. There's no rhyme or reason to it. My new booth has more like unique, unusual type items, like really antique things. So I'm gonna try to put like a little bit of a difference in them that way.
Yeah. Now, when did you get your love of antiques and all of these unique items that you speak of?
It's funny because I never really did, I was never really into it. But when I started reselling, I was just doing clothing, shoes, and purses. But then I was looking at the hard goods sections of the thrift store. And I'm like, wow, that's cool. This is cool. And then it kind of just spiraled. I would learn about each of the items and that they were, oh, this one's 20 years old, or this one's 50 years old, or this is McCoy.
Right.
I would, research the brand and stuff. And it kind of just snowballed into now I'm changing over my whole apartment into vintage things and decor.
Yeah. That's nice. Zombie asked us, you've been full-time reselling for how long now?
Only since October 1st of 2020. So not even a year.
That's incredible, Kristen. You should be so proud of yourself.
Yeah.
That's just an awesome feat because, like I said, many people, I know I've been in this situation and I've talked about it in my other shows where people will say, how do you sell this? Or, hey, my friend wants to start reselling or whatever. And you show them something and they just never get the grasp of it, or they don't want it. They don't love it.
Yep.
You really have to love it to work it.
Yep.
And I think you've done that incredibly so. That's just
Thank you.
amazing. It really is. But like you said, you're turning your home into kind of your taste are changing with the antiques and all.
Oh yeah.
When have you gotten to the point where, and I always get to that point, but then I ignore my inner voice. Bye. Have you gotten to the point where you're like, oh, I have enough for the booth, or you always like, oh, there may be a rainy day and I got to keep stocking.
Yep. It never ends. I'm never like, okay, that's enough. Let me not buy anything. Maybe for the thread up boxes and, stuff like that, because they're a little expensive. But as far as checking out a thrift store or something like that, I'll always go. What could be there today, or let me check this out. And especially since I have a Goodwill 3 miles from my house, which is also on the way to my antique booths and the post office. So I kind of do a little loop and I hit them all up at the same, the same time frame just to see what they have, because you never know. And I'm always willing to check it out and spend the money, and always refilling the booth. There's never a no time.
Exactly. Can you tell us a little bit about your organizational storage while I grab your link and put it in the chat?
So,
what do you do to organize all that?
Yeah, behind me I have bins. I've tried a bunch of different ways to organize. Basically just researching on YouTube, how to organize inventory. I don't have a very big space, so I put all my inventory in bins, and they're numbered and lettered. And when I put the listing up in the Poshmark or eBay, whatever. At the bottom, I'll put what bin that the item is in. So I know, and because I didn't used to do this in the beginning, and I was running around my whole apartment trying to find things because I have things, you know, in the cabinets above the sink, and I have things in the cabinets above the fridge and in the closets and everything. So now I write where everything is in like code in the bottom of my listings, but most everything is right here. My breakables are in the kitchen. I have a separate cabinet for them. And at the bottom of the listing, I'll just put like cab 1, like, you know, for cabinet 1 and stuff like that. But you have to stay organized because I drove myself crazy searching the whole house. Cause I'm like, oh yeah, I'll remember where that is. Nope, sure didn't.
No, you don't. And even with, I know I do hauls sometimes, and I don't directly sell for my hauls or anything, but now I've gotten to where I just put everything on one side of me because I usually get an email. How much is this? Can I buy this? And if I don't, I'll lose it. So that is so important.
And I have bins like this. Well, you can kind of see it right here. I've put jewelry. Well, this is my tools side, but I have a bin just like this. It's a rolling cart of drawers that I have for my jewelry. And I have each drawer labeled something like earrings, rings, brooches, bracelets, dainty necklaces, chunky necklaces, you know, stuff like that. So it's organized, and they're all in little baggies. So it's,
that's amazing. So you're in a bedroom right now? Is that a bedroom or a?
Yeah, this is, we have it's 2-bedroom apartment, but it's a small bedroom, as you can see. So, but it doesn't bother me because it's just my inventory and my desk. So it's really perfect.
Exactly. And you're staring at money right there is what you're doing when you walk. Yeah. Like, what a beautiful sight. This is my money room.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's incredible. Guys, again, I just want to tell you about this young lady, and you're still young and beautiful.
Thank you.
An absolute entrepreneur here. She took YouTube. She's taking social media by the tail and running with it and running with it. She has pop-ups. She has auctions. She has subscription boxes. Yeah. She's a part of a Swarovski direct sales as well. So if you don't subscribe to her today, you're going to regret it, because not only is she inspirational, but if you love jewelry and love buying things that she brings, like beautiful bags that she finds thrifting, estate sales, you're going to miss out. But again, I love watching people that don't sit around and go to the job they hate every single day and say, I have a horrible job, and sit around and, you know, cry about it. You just got up and did something about it.
But anybody can change that. You're not a tree. You're not stuck. You can change your life. You can make it better if you don't like it. You know, anybody can change. They're in charge. You know, you're in charge of your life. You can make it what you want. Don't be scared. And if you are, it's okay, because I am still every day, but you just got to do it. Push yourself and don't give up. Don't give up.
That's awesome. Well, that's a great philosophy. You're not a tree. That I love the way you put that. You're absolutely right. Because people do think that they resign themselves to the mediocre, to mediocrity.
Yep.
And you didn't do that, and that's why you caught my eye. And then when I just kept hearing you say, well, I do subscription boxes, don't forget about this and that. Guys, go check her out. Please subscribe to her. Go patronize everything she puts out. Watch her old videos as well, because they're just wonderful. I wish you the best, Kristen. And
thank you so much.
Come back with us again if you'd like. Maybe we'll do another thing about your antique booth. I really want to learn about those as well.
Absolutely.
Right. Well, we're going to let you get back to your busy life. And everything.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.